After the trauma of our boat burning, the absolute best medicine for us is fun and relaxation. And Captain John fits a new inverter to Mini Dash. And we face a storm, and John also explains about anchoring techniques to minimise dragging. So kick off your shoes and come barefoot with us. So I'm just waiting here for my gorgeous husband, and we've done a bit of paddling. John's did a bit of droning. We've worked this morning. We've done some YouTube channeling this morning. And now we're taking a dip. Don't know if you can see, but there's so many butterflies. You coming down?
Yeah. Cold hands.
Gets you every time, those cold hands.
It's winter.
It's beautiful though. Oh, nice, lovely style.
Okay, so I've attached all the wires. The lights have come on.
It works! Hooray! It's a miracle! You're amazing! How about that?
Jesus.
I really like what you've done with your towel, honey. You might have to pull it a bit lower. Why have you got it like that?
Because otherwise it's burrs in it. Burrs are right up to there. And we're struggling with all these. Look at these. Awful. This is I've already done over to start pulling all the burrs out.
You look really cute.
Thanks, honey. Well, it's Monday night. We're sitting at Brampton, and I suppose some of the people in the past have said, you know, they'd like to know what it's like to be on a boat. Well, you know, you see all the sunshine pictures and all the happy beach stuff and the swimming and the coral. This is the other side of it. So there was predicted a chance of thunderstorms on the forecast. When it became dark, there was some thunder and lightning long distance off, and we watched it. We tidied the boat up expecting, or just in case it came by, but actually went off to the east and to the south of us, so that was good. We went to sleep all happy, and then got woken up soon after the tide came in and the boat lifted off, which is obviously absolutely the worst time for us. And there is lightning, high lightning in the sky, and the wind picked up to this howling, you know, woo woo woo, as Elizabeth calls it. Woo 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 wind.
Very technical name.
So it's probably about 20 or 25 knots. So it's not drastically terrible, but obviously we're in a very restricted anchorage. And the problem is now we deliberately anchored in shallow water so we would dry out and we'd be by the beach. But with the wind blowing from the south, it means we have very little fetch or very little distance till we hit the beach. And the way the wind normally blows from the south, we would blow, if we dragged, we would blow onto beach, which is obviously nice and soft. But off to our starboard side or to the west of us, if the wind changes direction, is rocks and mangrove. Again, about 40 meters, 50 meters away probably, I think. We don't expect to blow that way. However, we did have a stern anchor out because we were drying out, and because the boat was swinging so much from side to side, I had to jump in the water, only up to my waist, but it is 11 o'clock at night and it's blowing hard, so it's cold. So I had to jump in the water, retrieve the stern anchor, so now we just are swinging freely on the bow anchor. And now we have to sit and wait to see if we drag. I let all the chain out that we have, and so we have, I don't know, 25-30 meters of chain, remembering we're only in maybe 20 meters of chain. We're only in a meter of water at the moment, and the most is only going to be 2 or 3 meters. So technically 3 times 5 is 15, even if it was 3 meters, but it's not. It's 2 meters depth we're going to have, so 2 times 5 is 10 meters of chain. We do have more rope we can put on that, but at this stage we're just waiting and discussing scenarios. So the main scenarios we're dragging. We do have the stern anchor we could use on the bow if we needed. We could either put that as a separate anchor out the front. I'd have to get in the water to do that, but a better way to do it is to have the existing anchor and the second anchor tied to that anchor, so they're both pulling at the same time. Whereas if you have them on 2 separate lines going to the bow, as the boat swings, you have all the force of the boat on one anchor, that drags, and all the force on the other anchor, and then that drags. So that's why putting them, piggybacking them on each other, tends to be more effective in strong winds. Obviously the biggest problem for us is we've never used this anchor before. It's a weird looking anchor. It's not a well-known brand. I've never seen one like that before, but it digs in really nicely. So I must say I've been happy with it so far. It always happens, doesn't it? You're in a big wind and it's 11 o'clock at night, 12 o'clock at night. So this is what it's like
on the other side.
I have got the anchor alarm on. I've magnified the GPS so that I can see the track. So as we get blown by the wind from side to side, we follow like an arc. But if the anchor drags, we start doing a zigzag pattern like that as we go down the chart. Anchor alarm set for 50 feet because we only have probably 30 meters, 40 meters to the beach. So we really want to know before we hit the beach that we're dragging. So that's why I've set the anchor alarm relatively small distance. So apart from that, we sit back. I did offer Honey a cup of tea. Actually, I told Honey to go to bed, but she didn't. You get that, don't you, Honey? Because I didn't see any point both of us sitting up. The other thing is, here we will bottom out again, as in the tide will go out and we will sit on the sand again in about 4 or 5 hours time. So after 4 hours we sit on the sand, we don't need to worry about anchors dragging because we're not going anywhere, we're high and dry. And of course the other slightly weird thing is the tides are getting lower and lower, and if we drag and beach ourselves high up the tide at night tonight is 5 meters. In the daytime it's only 3.9 meters today it was, and both of those are getting smaller and smaller. So if we get dragged up the beach and end up sitting at the 5 meter mark, then we won't actually have any water tomorrow.
Good beach is.
So we do want to avoid that from happening. Otherwise we'd be here for a month or something, or 2 weeks.
Marooned!
It is a nice place to be marooned, mind you.
It is. We were stormbound here for about 4 or 5 days, and we'd actually lost our steering. And really, we shouldn't be getting any storms at this time because it's quite unusual, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is a bit weird to be getting thunderstorms in the middle of winter. Thunderstorms, from what I understand, are created by updrafts of heat conflicting with something, and then all.
Oh, we should ask the O'Kellys. We've put John's phone in a metal case. That's all we had, which was
just in case we get hit by lightning.
Which was the good old tea caddy.
One of our subscribers was saying, you know, tell us what it's like every day. This is what you get, like noises, it's creaking, and ropes thwacking. I've tied the halyards, like it's really annoying if you've got halyards on the mast that are blowing in the wind and hitting the mast and go ding 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 ding. Oh, that drives you wild. So we've got bungees, so we use elasticated bands to pull the halyards out towards the shrouds, so when they flap they don't hit anything. But despite that, I mean, this is what you get all night. So you get the sound of the wind. You also get clanking from the anchor, but I've put on a snubber on the anchor, which is a rope, so that when there's a jerk, the jerk is on the rope on the roller, not the chain. And the stronger the wind, the worse all the rattling gets. And to be honest, you get the rattling is often caused by the most insignificant bits of rope. Woo 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 always makes it feel much stronger than it really is.
So you guys go to bed and we'll stay up and keep watch. Go on, it's no point all of us being tired and washed out by the morning. So off you go to bed. We're in charge. We'll tell you what happens tomorrow.
One of the significant things when I went outside then is there's no lightning, so that's good, because before there was lightning going off every few seconds, but high in the sky. You know, it wasn't that there were streaks lightning coming down to the earth. It was all up in the clouds, and you know, the wind just doesn't have that intensity. But the decibels of the woo 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 determine the strength of the wind. The woo 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 comes from the wind whistling through lines, and the tighter you tie the lines, the more you get the woo woo woos. You can't stop it. It just happens. So you just learn to live with it, and that's just the way it is. There is Honey in bed. You can see how big the bed is, isn't it? For a little boat, isn't that an extraordinarily big bed? And the clouds are breaking up. It's not all blackness. There's blackness to the west of us, which is offshore, but to the east of us and to the south of us, we're starting to see gaps in the clouds, which is a good sign. It means that the front, or the thunderstorm, is passing. At least that's what I'm hoping. The wind's still consistently from the south, which is good. One of the problems with thunderstorms is you can get wind sort of circling from all directions, which then means your anchor lifts up and has to reset, and it's much more treacherous. But I've turned off the LED in the cockpit, I've left the anchor alarm on, and I'm hoping to be able to go to bed and get some sleep. What else do they need to know, honey?
It's their turn to stay up and watch.
Okay, guys, you're on watch now. I'm passing it over to you. Okay, thanks. I'll check in 3 hours. Enjoy your watch. So, what have you got to say for yourself?
Arr! John thinks I look like a pirate.
You smell like a pirate. You talk like a pirate. So we've got the auto helm on. So that's nice. Hands free.
Hands free.
Our lighters and throw our problems in the flame.
If you have liked this episode, hit the like button, subscribe for free, and ding the dong so you don't miss your fix of the next exciting episode. Love and health from the Barefoot Doctors.
We're gonna get over this.